this is Victor. I'm here with a new painting tutorial, and this is going to be a tutorial where I will paint the drone from Korn, just coming from the what's called this, from the new starter kit of Warhammer 40k. But I will start painting first the base. So I think it was interesting maybe to show how I will do the base, and I'm using one of the bases from Age of Sigmar. I have a lot of them. These are like ruins, and I think we can make it look like 40k if we want. So I will paint the base first, and in this first part, and then on the next part I'm going to do the Foetid, how it's called, the drone, I will call it. I don't know. So let's start with the base. As you can see, it's prime on black. And we are going to start applying grays. I will start with doing dry brushes of grey, and I will start, not downstone of course, I will start with the stone vermin full. So, oops. So we are going to do these things like a stone or concrete, and then we are going to do marble and gold on the rest of the parts. So we are going to start painting on that, and we are going to take a pad brush to work and to do some dry brush here on the miniature. So let's take this brush that is quite worn out. Okay, and we are going. This is going to be quite a heavy dry brush. We start with a very heavy one to give this greenish tonality, and from there we are going to start. So as you can see, I will go very heavy, and if you go and I'm starting with that because it's the deepest part. It's going to be the dirtier paint job we are going to do, because the dry brush is also the most. Oh, this is too much, of course. Okay, let me work. So we are going to dry brush this. Okay, but we want to go quite heavy at this stage. Okay, we are going to do also whites later on to make it, to give some brown as well, and to give the look of dirtier. And we are going to do some technical paints to make like if it's plague contamination on this part. Okay, we are going to simulate that it's some kind of Nurgle invasion on a type of imperial wall. So we are going to do the dry brush with the stone vermin full. As you can see, I go very heavy. I really want to go greenish at the beginning, so don't worry too much if it's too heavy. I'm going to do that, and I come back once this is done. So after stone vermin full, we are going to apply downstone. Again, another layer of dry brush. Now we are going to go softer. This is not too different from the previous one, so if you don't see too much effect, it's normal. Okay. So I will do the dry brush with downstone, and I show you once it is done. Next, I'm going to use administrator grey. No, this is the lighter grey. Okay, we are going to apply this. Again, we are going to be very soft now with the dry brush. Always suggest to start very soft, and then you can always go heavier. It's always first test how it's looking like, and there is always time to go heavier when you do the dry brush. So I will do this. I don't want to go too light on this grey, because I want to contrast with the marble that I will paint on these stones here. So I'm just here, you see, when you don't dry too much, but it's good enough. Okay, this is just to give, what you want to give is some color variation. So you want to avoid that is monotone. You want to go heavier in one part and less heavy in other parts. This is good. Okay, I apply here. Okay. And next, I go very light on that. I'm going to use Aqueous Air Shade, and we are going to apply a wash of Aqueous Air Shade. It's better Aqueous Air Shade over Nun oil in that case, because we really want it will break the monochrome tonality. We can use a previous brush, we can use a one-note brush to do that, indeed. So we are going to just apply this. This will give this brown finishing, and will give more earthy color. Okay, so it will look more interesting. Then you can go over the schools. Don't worry about the schools. We're going to do them later. Okay, just remember this is one of the bases from Age of Sigmar that I'm going to adapt for 40k. Okay, so here we leave. And we are going to wait at this device before doing the next steps, because I really want to be sure that, oops, lucky that my Aqueous Air Shade is almost finished. Okay. Maybe the most used color of my, or the most used, yeah, we said the most used color, or most used paint in my collection, the Aqueous Air Shade. So here we have, we wait until this dries, and I come back once this gets dry. So next, I'm going to use palette with flesh on the parts that we want to do, like marble. I try to use not pure white, just white. Also just this is almost white, but it's not pure white, and I go very thin, as you can see, so almost transparent color. We have these small rocks. We are going to paint these rocks in a different color. Okay, and I try not to go on, I try to keep a clean paint job. So I'm going to do that. As you can see, it's very thin, and I like to give this transparency to give a little bit of greenish tone. So I will do that, and yeah, let me show a little bit how it's looking like before I. As you can see, it's quite thin. So I will be doing that. So we'll keep applying this layer of, you can see that here is wider. I will keep applying this layer of, and once this is dry, I go back and I apply a second layer. So you can see we are going to do this, and once it's applied, I come back. This is how it looks like. As you can see here, here I start working just to make a test, but you can see that it's not super clean white. It's okay. Because this will help on making the marble effect. So you don't need to have a pristine white. And now I'm going to use Celestra Grey from Games Workshop. Okay, Celestra Grey. We want it to paint quite thin, and what we want to do with that is we are going to do like the veins. I don't know how this is called in English. In Spanish is I know the word in Spanish, but to be fair, I don't know the word in English, to be fair. But we want to do something like that. And you can go quite thick, okay? You can make some thick and quite thinner, as you can see. You play with the water or with the thinner to make it them do stronger or lighter, to make them less or more transparent. So you want to go like making veins, okay? Do it with moderation, and you have to be intentional. Normally what I suggest is that you have some pictures in front that you can follow. Well, just look some pictures before doing that, so you can have an idea how to do it. There are a lot of types of marble, and they can do very different and complex patterns, to be fair. So I'm going to do one that is have not too much direction. So there are some that have more direction, or are more have a predominant direction for this type of paints, but there are others that not, and I will do something that is more a random pattern. Okay, so we apply this. Just use the shading that you already have for all the strokes that are visible from the previous, to correct with this color and to exaggerate. So you want really to make this to look, to complement what in most of the cases will be mistakes. Okay, don't try to be and start to be too symmetric and too much the same. So we can go, for example, here we can cross this one, and then here we can do also a cross like that. Okay, it's difficult because we have a very strong. So once we have done that, we are going to take a heavier gray, darker gray. I will use administrating gray. Okay. And we are going to complement these lines. So for example, this one that is thicker here, I will go next to this one. This will help to do a little bit of color variation. Can make, for example, something like that here. So you can see this is almost the same as dark as the previous one. We want to just add some to make the color to change a little bit, to have more than one color variation. I don't know how the camera is capturing that, to be fair. I hope, because it's really, maybe the camera is, but what I'm doing is, you can make some small veins, you can make, but complement the ones that you did before. Okay, I'm going to go here and I will follow like that. There are some that sometimes suddenly they make like a small duplicate. Okay, don't do it. If you look like a little trembling, is better. So don't do the lines too straight. Okay. And if you go where the goal have to go later, you can go there, but you have to be sure that you finish. Okay. Let's work now with a much darker gray. Okay. And I'm going to use now a really dark one. I will use a storm. No, I will use, what is the, where I leave it now. Here this, I will use a Skaven Bright Dig. This is really a dark one. And if you look at the marble, you will see that have also this type of like stains. Part of the veins, they are part that it has like, and with this, you see, you want to go like that. I will go something like that. Follow this vein here. Okay. We can duplicate this one. Make like a small connection to this one. And you can do something like that. You want to go very thin with this one, very thin lanes. But try to follow what you did before. Then we can go the other way around. For example, here we have this spot. We can go around this spot. And we can close here. We can also put that like that here and continue. Okay. This one, for example, here we can keep it like that. Right? Then we can go like that on this one. And we can close this one like that. We can do these small loops. Okay, and we can, for example, duplicate here again. And this is not black, this is a really dark gray. I prefer to use this instead of black. Okay. Let me work on the biggest part. So we have here, for example, we can go this one here. Here we have one that is very light. We can go with the dark just in parallel. Okay. We can also follow this vein here. And here, for example, we can do like if one was coming from this side and was just leaving. Can start now one from here, so and it's just fading out. So just work with the previous layers that you did and complement them. And it's like, so you just work, so you see how it's looking like right now. Okay. Example, I will, here that is very dark, I will apply a vein. Here makes sense. Then I will go like that. Okay. This one here, and then we can make another one there. So try to think a little bit where you will put all these type of lines, veins, in a way that they make sense and they give a nice look. For example, here I realize that I'm missing one, but I don't want to kill the ones that are really gray, so I don't want to go on top of them, so I will do something like that. And the marble can have really these very strong lines on it. It's not transitioning softer. have some soft lines and have some very strong lines, but have not soft transitions, the marble. The only thing that you can add at the end, the only thing that is normally the marble is shiny because it's polished. If you look, natural marble will not be shiny. Okay, but let's do this type of things. Here we went, so we try to avoid to do the same pattern in each section. Here we can do something like that. We need to finalize this line. Okay, so this is looking quite nice now, I think, as a marble. Let's do this one here that have this big vein, and we're going to complement this big vein. Remember, this is not black, this is cavern bright. Okay, and to make it more interesting, we can make this type of a small loop that sometimes I do. Can go here, and we can make another one like that. We want to connect these two dots. Sometimes have thicker lines, and sometimes the thicker lines go thinner. But one thing that they have is they always have this type of wavering. Okay, so try not to make straight lines. Marble have no straight lines, and the Celestia gray is really adding a lot with this shading, because it's breaking the pure white and it's giving this bluish tonality that combines very well. Okay, so I think this is looking good. Okay, so I will give, sorry, I forgot this, the small stone here. You can also do so this was also good. I wanted to go for one with the stronger veins, but there are some marble that have very soft ones, so it's really look around and see how the different tonalities on the marble. And I think one of the things that works the best is that the white is not homogeneous. You have this type of, so it's really better to paint wrong than painting well. So here we have, and now I'm going to apply gold. And to do the gold, I will use Retributor Armor. Is the gold that I always recommend from Games Workshop. Normally I always paint with Games Workshop paints, you know me, but I really like this gold. In the bats was a little bit painful, but this gold can go straight forward on top of the black. You see, it's covering very well. So we are going to do this, some gold details, like it was a gold decoration on here on this run. So maybe it was brass, because we are going to rust this to make it look more interesting. So we are going to consider this that was brass more than gold, or the gold was contaminated with other metals. Okay, gold is a noble metal. It's not rusting. Okay, so I'm going to apply this, and on this type of sand we have there, and I come back once this is done. So while I'm waiting that the gold dries, I will apply Screaming Skull on the skulls. Okay, I will try to leave the holes unpainted. So dark, I will paint just around. Okay. As you can see, well, at the end I did 2 layers of gold, but the gold is looking nice and bright. We are going to do, of course, no washes and highlight on the gold as well. So we are going to paint the skulls like that. Okay, and once this is done, I come back. So next, I'm going to paint these small stones or these small things that have fallen. And I was looking for a contrast. What we are going to do is I'm going to paint them in a different gray tones. So I will start using Dark Reaper. Okay, and let's see if this is working. So this will give a different tone to this type of stones, a different tonality, and I think this will make them contrast with the rest. Okay. So we'll apply this, not as the revised as I did before. I just do a base coat, and once this is done, I come back. So this goes looking like after applying Dark Reaper, and now we are going to do some dry brush on this using a rose gray. So this way we are going to have different color tone than the other rocks, and we'll make them add a little bit of more variety. Let's take a bad brush and we just do dry brush on top of this. Okay. We are going to go for the lighter color. I'm going to use Finalizing gray, that is lighter. Okay, and now what we're going to do is I'm going to apply a wash of Seraphim Sepia. I will apply maybe I will start with Seraphim Sepia, and I will apply this on the gold parts as well as on the marble parts and the bones. So we're going to do, let's start first with this gold part. We are going to apply Seraphim Sepia. Okay, and I apply the normal one. I don't like to apply the glossy one. I think it works better the matte and then doing the highlights. Okay. And when we go to the, we are going to go as well on top, but we want to be much lighter on the, so we are going to thin down, very water it, and we go on top of the marble, but we water down quite a lot. And we have tried to avoid that it's accumulated, but we want to give this brownish shade. It's like almost doing a glaze, very soft glaze, because we want it to look dirty. Of course cannot look white and pristine. This is marble that have been on the ruins. So we can go, we need to apply a little bit of wash with Seraphim Sepia to break the white. A little bit more. Okay. Eliminate one is too much. And now we are going to put here. Put as well a little bit on some of the rocks to give more a brown color. Okay, you can even go on top of some of these ones. Okay. So now we wait that this dries, and once the Seraphim Sepia have dried, we can go with the next step. Let me put a little bit here. Okay, I wait that this is dry and then I come to the next step. This is how it looks like after doing the Seraphim Sepia wash, and now it's time to start doing some effects, weathering and damage. We are going to apply some of the technical paints. I will work with the technical paints and yeah, let's see. This time I will try to work with the technical paints of most of the cases. And the first thing I will put here, I will use Nurgle's rod to put it on the crevices, on these cracks, and the intention is to make like poisoned filled, to fill the cracks with like a poisoned thing from Nurgle. So we are going almost to stab in, okay, and this is very transparent, so we will need to put quite a good amount of paint. Don't worry if you go a little bit off, maybe we need to clean up. Let's see how it looks like once we have applied that. But the idea is to apply here this weird paint. Okay, maybe next time I should do this first, but I think that it's going a little bit out should not be a big deal. Okay, let's put a little bit more here. As you can see, I'm just almost filling the crevice with this product. Okay, I really go generous with this. This is not detail that you can cover there, principle, and you want to make it visible, right? So let's go and be generous. If something is flowing out, yeah, maybe it's overflowing, or and if not, later on we can clean up. Okay, so let's do this crevice like that. Now I need to think how we will put the miniature, because depending how I put the miniature, we can also put some. We will most likely, I will try to finish as much as possible on the base, but maybe we will need to do some touches once we assemble the miniature at the end. So normally bases have two steps: one at the beginning to prepare the base for me, and then at the end when you place the miniature, normally you want to do some touches. So we have to fill this well. I really want this to be filled well. I see that some parts is not filling, so most likely I will need to do a second layer. If you see gaps on the green, you will need to do a second layer. So now let's just see how we are going to place this thing on top. So most likely, yeah, I think I will put it like that. Okay, so we are going, you see, once this is assembled, this is leaking. So we are going to put some additional leaking here, and we can make a small pool of this liquid. So let's put it back to his, and then I'm wondering all this, I hope I can remove later on all this blue tack. So yeah, I will leave it like that now on the green. Okay, and let's Let's leave the base like that, and we are going to weather the base once we assemble it. So we can finalize here. The first part is preparing the base. I think the base now is looking okay to assemble everything on, and once we will need to go back to the base at the edge stage to do the weathering. I think now it's looking okay. The only thing we can do, I'm thinking now, the only thing we may want to do is to add some satin varnish to that. Okay, I'm going to add some satin varnish to the, let's do that now before stopping. So I take satin varnish. I'm going to use that one. It's Vallejo satin acrylic varnish. Okay, and we are going to apply that. Let's take don't use a very good brush for varnishes. I don't like to use good brushes for varnishes. Let's apply that on the marble. This will give a cleaner or a brighter finishing, and will make the marble look more realistic. Okay, don't worry if you see that it's whitening. It's going to be transparent when it's dry. But be conscious that you apply well all over the part, because if you don't apply somewhere, it's not going to be gloss at the end and will look weird. If that happens, just apply a second layer of varnish, of course. Okay, so we are going to apply here as well on all what is marble. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and we are going to finish the base on that stage, and we are ready then to go to the next stage, that will be to start painting the bone itself. Okay, so it's just do this. I think the marble at the end looks good, and it's good that we have this seraphim sepia making some parts darker, because it will look dirty. And at the end these are rings. We will need to do to add some dust on the base and so on, because if there is some rings, there should be some dust somewhere. Okay, so let's do like that. Let's wait that the varnish is dry. But now for this part of the tutorial, first part, it was just to focus on the base, to do a different base, and you see that this will at the end match. If you want to look it even more 40k, you can add some beads like a Space Marine beads or a weapon there falling down. You can do this after we have placed the miniature and we see the composition better, and we see better how everything is looking like. So far I will stop here and now get ready for the second part, where I will start painting the dome itself. Leave the comment below, give a like if you have liked this video, and as usual, thanks a lot for watching, and see you again on the second part. Bye!